Taryn, do you ever have those moments where you're like, that thing felt so good, like an awakening?
Yes. Like currently.
We'll have to talk about that during the behind the scenes. I want to know more about your awakening.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The awakening I'm talking about specifically is really for our social stories members. So we just had a workshop. We call it a workshop.
Mm-hmm. It was a workshop.
With a very special guest, Lynn Dominic, who I know at some point, I'm sure you guys will meet on the podcast. Actually, I met her because she was in Social Stories. She's a Social Stories member, and she has become trained on what we call human design, which in my opinion is kind of like a personality test.
Yeah, that's how some people describe it, but it's the deepest personality test I've ever taken.
It's also the most accurate one I've ever taken. Have you ever, like, I don't know about you, Taryn, but back in the day, I used to love all of the quizzes in the magazines. I used to do, like, get all of them and do them. And I'm like, yes. And then do all the I think I've done the Enneagram. I can't even remember. And the Myers-Briggs and all those things. What I found is I am a quiz, and this is not surprising. If you know my history when it comes to like SATs and LSATs and all the tests, I've been an amazing test taker. Like, I just know how to, I want to do well. I do well. That's just how I am.
Same.
Where am I going with this? Yeah. So
I don't know, but same.
As a result, I can decide what I want a quiz to tell me, like, about my personality, and it just does. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Within a couple questions, like, oh, I get it. I need to answer this way to be this. I'm not kidding. Like,
same.
Okay.
Like, I've taken the Enneagram probably 5 times and I always get a different answer. And I'm like, what one am I? I don't know.
Well, see, and I think that's the reason that human design is so dang interesting to me, because I cannot thwart it. I cannot. I can't. And a lot of you have heard, shout out to Julie Winkles, who comes to mind, because when I was telling Social Stories that we were having this workshop, she's like, oh, is that thing that you and Taryn talk about on the podcast? I'm like, oh yeah, it is. What I love about human design is that I literally, once I found out my human design type, I was like, wow, my 20s make so much more sense. Like, those years make so much more sense now after the fact. I'm 43. Like, oh my gosh, had I known that before, hello, clarity.
So when you took it, you felt like reassured with it, would you say?
Yes.
Okay.
If you've ever felt different, like you don't fit in or something isn't quite right. And I liken this to network marketing, because sometimes you're like, you want to be coachable because everyone says you have to be coachable. But at the same time, you're kind of like, but it doesn't feel right for me to be doing certain activities over and over again.
Yeah.
And you might think something's wrong with me. And because I'm not doing it or struggling to do it, I'm not as far along, like we talked about in the podcast a few weeks ago, as I want to be. And what I've come to realize with this personality test with human design is that we're not all built the same way. So as a result, the way you and I do network marketing could be completely different. And that is fine and great.
Right. Sally Sue may love popping over in the DMs and starting conversations where you don't, and you don't see good results from it. And you're like, what am I missing? I'm doing the strategy she told me to do. Why isn't it working?
Exactly.
Well, and this might help you.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that too, Sally Sue, I like that, is that knowing that as a team lead, if you're trying to grow a team and you're trying to grow a team and you're like, be duplicatable, you're literally saying that everyone has to do it the same way that you did, which is that doesn't make sense, because you are all different.
Yeah.
So I guess this leads me to a question for you, Taryn.
Oh, Taryn. Okay. Yes, Roxanne.
How do you know if your resistance to doing certain accepted things in network marketing is because you're just scared or because you're not meant to?
That's a great question. So within human design, when you take it's not even a quiz. You enter like your birthday, where you were born and all that information, the time, and it populates what is your chart. And you are a type. There's a ton of different information in there. But the things that stand out to me and what I've leaned into over this last, it's been a year and a half that I've been learning human design, is there is a feeling that you have when you're in alignment. And there's a feeling you have when you are out of alignment, and it lets you know, like, this isn't the path. Maybe something's off. And for me, if I am in alignment with something, a project, or like if I'm feeling good about something in direct sales, I feel successful. I feel it. It's not just like I am successful. It's like it's a feeling that I would get. Whereas if I feel out of alignment with something or a task, and even in our business, like there's times, Roxanne, where I'm like, I can't do this task. I can't.
I'm not asking to do anything crazy, y'all. Just
no, she's not at all.
Watch an 80s movie, dang it. Just watch the movie.
But like what comes up for me is like a bitterness, maybe around like the task itself. It might project onto somebody else. Like that's how I know like it's out of alignment for me. So I don't want to pop into people's DMs. I feel bitter. I feel weird. I feel icky. Mm-hmm. And that lets me know in my human design that I'm out of alignment. But there are other ways to grow your business that make me feel successful.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And I think I'm going to start with what you said at the end. There's other ways that make you feel successful. I think that is really important, because when we base it on what our upline has said is successful, that might not be our thing.
Right.
And if we base it on doing those activities the way they did it, that you are not the same person. We say this all the time, like you're your own distinct, unique person. What makes you great, what makes marketing companies want you is because you're you. And when you're being your best you, it all makes sense, right? When you're being your best you, people gravitate towards you. I want to shout out to Julie Winkles again. This is coming to me. Julie Winkles will openly tell you she just switched companies. I'm just talking about her on the podcast. And what's so exciting, we recently had our office hours for Social Stories, and it was her first office hours after switching companies. And she was like, okay, so I did a video and it was probably too long and I was probably bumbling over all my words, but I did a video explaining why I switched companies. And she said, and I got like instantly 200 views, and people keep dropping in my DMs. People are interested in joining me in the business. People are excited for me. People are commenting, saying, way to go. This is so you, and I'd follow you anywhere. And she's like, it was just so cool, because Julie is someone, and she will tell you this. When she started in Social Stories, she was like a shrinking flower, like a shrinking violet. And she's like, I don't know, and I'm not good, and I suck, and like all those things. Okay. I probably shouldn't have said her last name. It's okay. I might reach at her. Julie, I'm talking about the podcast. And we really worked through not only like helping her grow her business, and she saw growth within like the first couple months, but also confidence, and having confidence in herself, and getting rid of this negative talk. Well, now she is now on a journey just in general, where she's like, I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey of bettering myself. And part of that journey, she realized the company she was with was not the one that was in line with who she is now. So she switched companies, and already the mission, the passion is totally there. Where am I going with that? Sometimes I ask myself that too. When you're naturally in alignment, as you called it, you know, those feelings are just right. Like it feels right. And I know it's scary sometimes, because you're like, I can't change this. And if you change it, and I'm not saying you need to change companies, but maybe you're changing maybe you love your company, but you're like, I don't like the way I'm doing this. I don't like sending all these DMs. I don't like only posting about my business. I would actually like to talk about other things. If you feel that over and over again, listen to that feeling, because that just might mean you're not meant to be doing the other, what we call the spammy Tammy. You're not meant. There are people who are meant to be spammy Tammys. Of course, there's always gonna be a spammy Tammy, but most of us aren't meant to be that way. I know I went on a tangent, but you let me go, and I appreciate it.
No, that was good. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, so if you're starting to have those thoughts and you feel like out of alignment of what we call it, or you just feel like you're not being true to yourself, or I like to call it like, I feel resistance. So then what do you do?
Yes. What do you do? First of all, you validate. This is the thing. I think we get conditioned in society, and in network marketing can have a lot of conditioning too, because again, we start with the word coachable. So like, okay, coachable means condition me, change me, mold me. Having me say, like, mold me to what you think an ultimate network marketer is and make me that person. Make me less of who I am and more of what you say needs the typical network marketing to be. Which did I just realize why we like human design so much, Taryn? Because our whole, like, everything we do in RoxTalks is about finding yourself and being your best self. Did you notice that? Oh my gosh. Okay, I had a moment. So I think that the second you start to feel that resistance, you need to ask yourself, why are you feeling that resistance? Really ask yourself. Don't sit there and logically go through, well, logically, it's because how are you feel? We've been in our bodies for a long time, some of us longer than others. Taryn's been in there for like, I don't know, a decade or two, but I've been there for 4 decades.
Very seasoned right here.
But if it really doesn't fit, the thing is even though you're being conditioned and coached, whatever you want to call it, you do truly know in your body what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, start to listen to that voice and lean in and ask yourself, what does feel right? So for me, I'm at peace when I'm in alignment. Peace, peace on earth, goodwill to men. So when I'm not, you know what mine is?
Oh, I do know.
Dracarius. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know that. I get angry, which I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman. So would I ever typically before have said I get angry? No, because who wants the angry Black woman like moniker? Not I, said the fly. But I would typically say frustrated. I'm frustrated. And now I'm like, oh no, it's angry. I'm like, I get angry. And it's not like I'm going to Dracarius on you and like the dragon's going to come, but I do get angry when I'm not in alignment, when I'm feeling out of myself, when I feel like my purpose, the reason I'm here on this earth isn't being fulfilled.
Yeah. I know for me, like you're kind of saying, like, we know what we feel it in our body. I actually did not. I had no idea. I was completely shut off. Like all my emotions lived in my head and I did not connect to my body, which ironically is in my human design. But I had to learn what that was. So learning what my human design type is, and then learning, like seeing on paper, like, oh, bitterness. Oh, I'm bitter all the time. Like I never associated it. I just thought like, I'm a mom, I'm angry all the time. And I had to like learn that. So being able to see my human design was like, oh, I get it now. And I just connect more and more pieces. And it's cool to be able to see like your human design versus mine, because we're going to respond differently. And now, like, if I see you angry, maybe in the past, and this has never happened, so I'm being very vague, but like if you were angry, I might think you're angry at me.
Oh, no, I got a moment. Remember when we were being mansplained?
Oh, yes. I saw true Roxanne out of alignment, like 100%. I was like, we got off that call. I was like, oh my God.
We were talking to like a contractor about doing this thing. And like, okay, I'm a researcher. Yeah, just naturally. I've researched. I know my stuff. I don't come to a meeting not prepared.
Yeah.
And he would not let me get a word in edgewise to ask any questions about, like, he just kept me. And I just was like,
came out that anger. I was like, woo! I was like, this is kind of fun.
So mad at him, angry, which I never would have used that word before. I was so angry. I'm like, oh my gosh. He kept interrupting me. He would not let me talk. And he was saying the same crappy thing over and over again that made no sense. I'm like, if he would let me talk, oh my gosh, I was so done with him. Done.
Yes. All of this to say, like, I know you and I have learned so much about it. And why are we talking about it today on the podcast? Because we think that you guys would really benefit from learning more about yourself. Like that's what business is about, is the more you learn about yourself, the better you show up in your business, the better your business is. And I can speak to 1000% truth on that with my own business personally. It's like, it just grows the more I focus on myself.
Yeah, which is so like counterintuitive to being a woman, being naturally a woman, whether you're mom or not, like we're nurturers, right? That's what we do.
Yeah.
So it might feel really weird to say that. This year, if you remember, one of the things this year, my focus is to learn more about myself and just like really my body inside and out and all the things. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm like, ooh, I'm ready to do human design and find out more. But I agree with you. And if you think you join network marketing for the community, which is a reason, or to make money, which is a reason, or to learn to share this impact with the world about this product, which is a reason, or to help transform, it's a reason. They're all reasons, but I got news for you. If you want to do the internal work, even if you don't want to do the internal work, too bad you joined network marketing. And network marketing takes a mirror. I had a mirror, it's gone now, but it like literally forces you to put a mirror in front of your face. And all those things you think, oh, I suppressed, or we tucked her away, or I locked her when I threw away the key. Guess what, baby? It all comes out.
Oh yeah. Go post a reel and see how vulnerable you feel, and see, you're going to be Hawkeyeing those likes, and you have to do the personal development to put yourself out there.
You have to. So just know that I didn't come for this, Roxanne. I know you came for network, you came for social media and all the things. We get it, but we're just giving you if you want to make all that work a little bit better, you might lean into learning about yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I just need to shout you out. We had our meeting earlier today and we were looking at finances, and you can tell a difference in our finances this year as you're focusing on yourself. We have tripled the monthly income, tripled, maybe fourth. I don't know how to say
that word, quadruple.
Thank you. Quadruple. And there's just evidence right there as you become more confident in yourself, as you know yourself, as you trust yourself.
Ooh.
Money follows.
That's juicy, as you like to say. And thank you for that call out. I appreciate it. But it is true. Like you do this work, you will grow. So if you're like, oh, but it's this number goal, or it's this number goal. As you do your work, you are a better person, a better human for all the people that you're serving, which means your customers, which means your team members, which means your family. You're a better human when you do the internal work. And I always say, like, I'm not going to coach people and not work on myself. That's arrogant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's arrogant.
Yeah.
And so if you want to grow that team, you got to do some work on yourself. You got to get in there, get into that gushy wushy.
All that good stuff. Yeah. Whether that's therapy, whether that's human design and learning more about yourself, whether that's reading a self-development book, whether that's listening to mindset podcasts. I don't care what you choose, but I would say it's a business requirement.
I love that. So good. That's your tidbit for today. This has been your TED Talk. That's the tweet.
It was not the Rox rant today.
No, I say that for the mansplaining guy. Oh my gosh. What's going on with you behind the scenes? You are having an awakening. What's going on?
Oh, I have just been feeling like a fire coming back into me lately. And life ebbs and flows and you kind of get sucked into things, and it's not anything specific. I just feel a fire coming back to me. And actually, you know what? I do. And I'm happy to talk about this in lieu of what we're talking about today. Is in March, I had decided to come off anxiety medication. I'd been feeling so good. I'm like, I don't need this. I'm doing all these other things. Like, I feel good. And I realized in the middle of May that I was not so good. And I was having like bad thoughts coming back. I couldn't get out of this depressed mood, which was funny because I was on it for anxiety, but this depression came out of nowhere that I couldn't explain. Life is good. And I had realized, I'm like, okay, I need to get back on this. I don't feel good. I'm not myself. I can't serve others. I can't serve my family because I want to be on the couch.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually my fire coming back, as I'm getting back to my normal. And I'm realizing it's okay to be on this stupid medication that I don't want to be on, but it helps me.
So first of all, kudos for you for saying, let me see what happens when I'm not on it. And then recognizing, wait a moment, hold the phone. It's something that I do need. Can we not call it stupid medication though?
I know. I'm sorry. That's just me. My own. I think like I felt weak because I had to take it. And now I'm realizing that does not mean I'm weak. And that's my own journey. So yeah.
So this is the start of that journey.
It's the start of that journey. Yeah.
You're strong. And it's not a stupid medication.
You're right. I love when you call out my words because that's also too, like, that's how I'm telling it to myself. And I associate it with being bad, but it's not bad. And I can tell other people that, but I don't know why I didn't realize that for myself. So
we're harder on ourselves.
So that's me.
I wish you were right here. I want to hug you.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
There. Okay, love you. Thank
you too.
You guys for being here for our moment.
I have been in, let me get the words right, quarantine now for about a week. Fun times. Scott came home with COVID. So after 2 years and I don't know, some change, to our knowledge, COVID was not in this house and it now is. And so he's been on one side and I've been in my ensuite office. I've been sleeping on the Chase Lounge. If you're watching behind me, I don't even have like sheets because I wasn't touching anything in that room. Right. Once we did tests, I'm like, okay, okay, here we go. So Baylor and I have been, she's behind me. I don't know if you can see her. Let me go this way.
No, go the other way.
There she is.
Oh, I see an ear.
Here, yep. She and I have been hanging out in here and none of us are in the common area most of the time. Like I go in, I like suit up, glove up, all the things because I'm leaving town. I have places to be for the next 3 months. And so we can't have this here. So today will be interesting because technically he can see Baylor now, according to the CDC. And so there'll be a war because I have to lock my door to sleep because I know he's going to, and I've heard him jingle the door before. I'm like, you cannot come in here. Yeah, you are not. But
no.
Yeah, I know. So it's been,
you're the one who got it. So you don't get Baylor.
I know. But you know, the funny thing is, if I had it, I'd still be taking care of myself.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like this is going to be a whole nother podcast episode.
It's like, I don't have it. I'm not getting it. I'm making sure I don't get it. And I have to take care of the one who has it. Make that make sense. Okay? I just want to drop that there for all the women listening and to the men. Just ponder that for a moment, shall you?
Just take that for a second. Yes. You know, I'm not even going to let it enter my brain right now because we are not sick over here. I'm not going to think about it.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And neither am I. So anyhow, that's the deal. That's what's going on. So as a result, I've been watching Marvel movies because Scott doesn't watch Marvel.
So which one are you watching right now?
Well, my sister and her man friend, they are big Marvel fans. So I'm like, okay, tell me, do I watch them in chronological order of when they came out or the order of which they are on the timeline of the world? They said to watch them chronologically based on when they came out. So I am I thought they were going to say the other, but they said watch that. So I am now I finished phase 1. So I've seen Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger, the Avengers. Then I've also watched, because I don't have a TV in here, Iron Man 3, Thor, the Dark World, Captain America, Winter Soldier, which I had seen Iron Man 2 and Captain America Winter Soldier just as one-offs in the movie theater before, but they make more sense now. And I used to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the first couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. So that's where I am. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy, which I gotta tell you, it looks like there's like a rat and like a tree. So I'm a little bit about watching that one, but I will. So can
you share this list? I want this list.
Yeah. Do you have Apple or Disney? Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got all of them. Actually, oh my God, thank God you said that because I need to cancel my Apple before. I'm probably going to get charged. Dang it.
Okay. Well, you got to go work on that. I will send you in Disney Plus, it literally has them listed off. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 in order. So,
okay.
We'll see if I make it through it. I think I will.
I think you will.
I know.
And that's why I didn't hear from you this weekend. usually like I don't work a ton on the weekends, or if I do, it's like incognito, and I get messages from Roxanne because that's when she's working in the business. So I'm always like, oh, I'll come back and look later. And I didn't have 20. I only had 13.
Yeah. I was in the Marvel universe. That is why. We got to go.
We got to go. You guys have a good week. Honestly, what we would love is for you to pop into our DMs and say hello and let us know you're listening.
Oh,
what?
Before we go, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot. And Wanblee, South Dakota, we see you. Thank you for someone in Wobbly. 10 people actually in Wanblee, South Dakota, listen to the RoxTalks podcast. Adelaide, South Australia, we love you as well too. Winnipeg, Manitoba is the city with the most people listening to the podcast right now.
Where's that?
I knew you were going to ask that. Why did you have to ask me that?
The Philippines?
In Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Canada.
Thank you.
So, Sydney, New South Wales, very popular, and Sun City, Florida. Anyhow, if we've listed off any of your cities, will you message us, drop in our DMs at RoxTalks? We got a little something special for you, and we want to celebrate you. So that would be fantastic. All right, y'all.
Bye.